Let's talk a little bit about the plants. Now, the biggest thing I always tell everyone is to put the right plant in the right spot. Give them room to grow. The biggest mistake people make is planting everything too close together, and they don't give them a chance to develop into really nice plants. And speaking of nice plants, this is a Highbush blueberry. It's going to give you blueberries during the season, and then in the fall it gets a vivid red color. So it's going to be a nice plant for you.
Sounds nice.
Now you got a big wall back here, so I wanted to make sure that we had some evergreens to try to hide it during the winter. This is a holly, but it's not an upright, it's a spreader. And the thing I like to do with these is to take clippings off these right before Christmas. It does a pruning for you and gives you some decorations. Over here we have what's called a butterfly bush. This is Buddleja. I love putting these in the gardens because everyone loves to see the butterflies come.
Oh.
Over here we have a little mounding plant called Spirea. It's going to make a great mound here that'll be full of pink flowers in the spring.
Great.
And I love to use daylilies. Most daylilies you only bloom once, but I like to use Rebloomer. This is a Rebloomer called Stella. It'll bloom at least twice, if not 3 times during the growing season.
Great.
I brought you 2 pairs, one here and one up there, so they'd get cross-pollination, even though they do pollinate on their own. Hopefully you'll have all the pairs you can use.
Great, thank you.
Well, let's get to work. Anytime you plant a plant, you want the hole to be 2 or 3 times wider than the pot or the ball that you're putting into the ground. The other thing is, you don't want to dig too deep. It won't grow. So what I do is I measure the depth of the ball, subtract 2 inches, and end up making a hole at that depth. Whenever you're planting a plant that's coming out of a container, when you take it out, you need to recognize whether it's root bound or not. If it is root bound, you need to scarify that ball and pull those roots out so that they grow out into the soil. Most people would just measure up to here and call that the height of the hole, but that's not true. We have to find the root flare, and it'll probably be not as deep as this. So we got to take some material off, which will make our hole shallower. So let me cut first.
Okay.
Some of the strings off so I can get in here. Okay, if you look right here, you can see where the trunk starts getting wider. That's the root flare. In fact, I can see one root right here, a big root coming off. But on top of that, I have a problem. I have a root that's crossing over a main root. This is called a girdling root because it'll actually choke that root out. Oh. So once we get it in the hole, we'll cut that root out. But you can see where the height we're at right now. If you look,
oh yeah,
instead of being up here in the hole, we are now down here, probably a 6-inch difference of what it would have been. So I'm just going to dig a little bit more out of the center and we'll roll it in the hole.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right, what I want you to do is water these plants in deeply. You're going to have to hit them 2 or 3 times, a little at a time. So you just keep working your way back and forth, all right?
All right.
All right, Haley, what I want you to do is spread this mulch out 2 to 3 inches deep, but I don't want it on the stems of the plant. So you can get a little on top of the root ball, but not all the way up to the stems, okay?
Okay.
It's going to keep the weeds from germinating. It'll also hold moisture in the soil, and it looks nice. So what do you think?
Oh, this is amazing. I can't believe this is my house. This is such a huge transformation from this morning.
Yeah, we had those big monster yews in front of the house. Now they're gone. Your house almost needs sunglasses. It's going to get so much sunlight. Well, now's the most important step, and that's watering. You're going to have to water these plants 15 to 20 minutes a day. You should probably go out and get a sprinkler and set it up to cover this area. Maybe even get one of those battery-operated timers, and that'll take all the worry out of getting them watered.